Hello again, everybody. After filming at the zoo and in New York, I'm now filming from my home. Why? Well, it's the same reason I'm wearing my Bentley University shirt, even though I'm recording this for MCPHS University. Namely, they got me very, very sick. Now, that is not related, incidentally, to the fact that there was no lecture and no homework assignment last week. A number of you wrote to me very concerned, which was sweet, but I was trying to give everybody the week off to catch their breath, get past the midterm, get ready for the rest of our course. Of course, I wish I had chosen last week to record the lecture and given everybody, including myself, the week off this week. Not off entirely, there are still readings and viewings to be done, but even so, here we are. I hope you're feeling physically far better than I am. Really, there's only two things I want to make sure we address in this lecture today, and then the rest of it I'll discuss online. The first is we are moving into history, myth, and ethics. We're now in our second week of that. And there's a difficulty in talking about religion in terms of history. That is to say, all religions have a history, have a mortal, earthly history, right? Islam did not exist as a practice before Muhammad in the 6th and 7th centuries A.D., Christianity did not exist as a practice before Jesus at the CE, BCE break, or BC-AD break, and Judaism certainly didn't exist as a practice before Abraham, Isaac, Jacob, perhaps even as far as Joseph, Moses, and so forth. Buddhism before Buddha. But then we get to Hinduism, and Hinduism raises an issue that the other religions are hiding somewhat. Even Confucianism did not exist before. Confucius. Hinduism has no distinct founder, no distinct founding date. And that lines up pretty well with its notions of it being eternal or even cyclical. And here we get into the further problem of, did Christianity exist before Jesus? Did Judaism exist before the Jews? The distinction we're trying to make here is that they became mortal practices at some date in history, yes. But did these concepts, did these ideas, notions of God, predate humans' discovery of them? The Gospel of John, for instance, will talk about Jesus as the Son existing since the beginning of time. So if Christianity only started during the Roman Empire, well, can't it have been said to have started long before that as well? Where do we mark history? From where the religion says the theology begins, or from where the actual practice by humans begins? And if we can't establish that second date, as we cannot for Hinduism and several other Aboriginal or even native tribes, do we have to defer to the other and say that it was created? Never. It was uncreated, or it was always in existence. I am trying to, I guess, confuse you, or at least complicate the issue of what is a start point for a religion. The greater issue we can bring up is that as new religions emerge, do we count their full emergence as a start date for their history, or do we credit the previous religion? There's the Baha'i religion, which came out of Islam. Did it start with Muhammad? Did it start with creation? Or did it only start with the first practitioners who distinguished themselves between Muslim and Baha'i? The same can be said for Christian Protestantism. I'm going to blame that on my cold. Protestantism. Did that start only with Martin Luther moving away from the Roman Catholic Church? Did it start with Jesus and he would look forward to Protestantism? Or did it start at the creation of the universe, or the creation of mankind? So as we talk about history, we're going to have to put a lot of care into whether we're talking in mortal terms, in terms of an original religion, in terms of existence. So that's the first point. I hope I've conveyed it in my sickly state relatively well enough. Here's the second point. You have a new paper assignment. Your second and final paper project for the semester is on ritual. Now, you might want to pause the video and go see the assignment file that I've posted, but in a nutshell, I'm asking you to choose a ritual from a religion that is not your own. I'm then asking you to do research and recount on what that ritual is, the history of that ritual, the meaning and significance of that ritual, who participates in it, and how often it is done, where is it done. The last and trickiest piece to this paper assignment is you then have to relate it to 3 of our class sections. Now, let me see if I can do this from my memory. We started with divinity and theology. Then we moved into creation and existence. After that, we went to death and beyond, and now we're in history, myth, and ethics. The last section is ritual and culture, so you can't pick that one. So your mission, if you choose to accept it, that is, if you'd like a grade, is to go research and get approved by me a ritual from another practice that you're going to relate to 3 of our sections, discuss the history of, and discuss the actual practice of. I will be shortly announcing our next Collaborate session for next week. Several of you have not yet completed the mandatory Show Up for 2 live ones, so please carefully watch your email for when I send out that announcement. That will happen this week, giving you at least a week's notice. And for those of you that cannot attend, I certainly respect that, especially if you've already done the 2 live attendances. But please make sure you get your summaries to me within 48 hours or I can't give you credit. That's all for me. We have one additional homework assignment this week that I will put up in our folder. And now I'm just going to cough myself into unconsciousness. But I hope you're all well, and I'm looking forward to what you have to say, the rituals you find. Talk to you all soon. Pressing button now.